As part of KCYL NetCard Unit's initiative of creating awareness about the defense forces in the youth of Kerala, today I am here to discuss some of the career prospects and the role and responsibilities of the Indian Navy, or the opportunities that the youth of today has of joining the Indian Navy. So before I go into the details of all this, I would like to share a small video clip. Hope you guys enjoy it, and if in fact, it is a motivational video created by the Indian Navy itself. So let us go ahead with the video straight away.
Who is the sentinel of the vast coastlines and island territories of our nation? Who ensures that our trade at sea flows unhindered? Who secures the seas so that our lives throb and succeed on land? Who renders help at sea when nature unleashes its fury? Who watches over the deep blue to ensure a peaceful sleep for 1.25 billion Indians? A force that is hard to perform, equipped to dominate, inspired to hold sway by might and unparalleled courage. A force that is defined by the ethos of duty, honor, courage. The Indian Navy is a mighty manifestation of India's maritime power. It takes on the evolving, multi-dimensional battle environment of today's naval warfare in both offensive and defensive operations. It confronts a number of non-traditional maritime threats like terrorism, piracy, organized crime, as also climate change and natural disasters. Rapidly evolving nature of threats, the Indian Navy is constantly updating its combat abilities to transform into a modern, agile, mobile, and technology-driven force. From concept to combat, the Indian Navy is steeped in the spirit of Make in India. India's maritime forces are prepared for range and mobility to fulfill their responsibilities in the extended security horizon beyond their own shores. At all times, steady on course to build all-round deterrence against any maritime threat, to decisively win in case of war, and to shape the global maritime environment in favor of our nation. tech savvy, trained. The Indian Navy. Assertive, alert, and awake for India. Combat ready to deter and defeat any misadventure. Whatever it takes and wherever it takes them.
Okay, now let's continue with my presentation. So now I'll start with the basics. Now, since you've seen the interview video and would have got motivated by the clips and the role of the Indian Navy there. So let's continue with our presentation about the Indian Navy. So as you see, Indian Navy is a multi-dimensional force as it operates above the surface of the water, primarily in air and as well as subsurface. So Indian Navy is capable of operating in all the three spheres, and that's why it is called a multi-dimensional force. Primarily, the branches in the Navy are divided into four parts: executive, technical, medical, and education. Under the executive branch, there are following cadres: gunnery, missile and warfare, or the gunnery, then the navigation and aircraft direction, anti-submarine against the submarines, communication and electronic, aviation, submarine, hydrography, marine, law, logistics, air traffic control, naval armament. Under the technical branch, there are primarily 5 types, which is aeronautical engineer, marine engineer, submarine, naval architect, and an electrical engineer. All have their own specialized requirements as you can mention, as you see from the name itself. Then, as part of an organization this huge and with the complex challenges, it is very important that every personnel is professionally excellent. And to maintain that, there are a lot of internal courses conducted by the Navy to keep the service personnel up to date with the latest technology. Also, as parts of initiative, there are MTech courses, especially for the technical officers at IITs and NITs to keep them up to date with the latest. Okay, now as part of for a general understanding for everybody, there are primarily 2 types of service personnel serving in the Navy: officers or commissioned officers, and the other part is sailors. In this today's presentation or the video that you are seeing, I will be focusing upon the officer's entry or their career profile or the progression and how are the various tests or procedures for getting selected as officers. Also, I'll be covering about the same things for the sailors towards the end of the presentation. All officers of the Indian Navy are commissioned officers, or in civil terms are Grade A gazetted officers of the Government of India. Every officer is personally appointed by the President of India, or that is something called as the President's Commission. What you see in the middle of this slide is the President's Commission for a particular officer. So, there are 2 types of commissions for all the officers in the Indian Navy. One is the Permanent Commission, which is a requirement of serving for 20 years, which comes with pension and other retirement benefits. And the second type is the Short Service Commission, with a service requirement of 10 to 14 years with limited retirement benefits. So these are primarily the 2 classification of commissions which are allotted to the. There are some of the entries which are open for women in the forces. So as part of this, presently the following entries are open for women. So all the girls who want to apply for it, most of the entries are post they complete their graduation. So some of them are as illustrated: pilot observer, medical logistics, education, ATC, naval architecture, naval armament, and now as flash, this is the rank structure. starting from the sub-lieutenant, which is the lowest rank of officer, then promoted to lieutenant, lieutenant commander, commander, and right up to the admiral ranks. Okay, now I'm talking about the monetary or the pay. So as part of the 7th Pay Commission's recommendation, these are the final presently followed pay bands. The first one is the sub-lieutenant rank at the entry level. The pay starts at 56,100. This is the basic pay. In addition, there are other allowances. On the right, you see the military service pay. So with every promotion, you rise up through the ladder and finally reach up to a basic pay of 2 lakhs. Now here is just a representation of approximate salary calculation for a sub-lieutenant or entry level officer. What you can see is some of the major or very common allowances which accounts. So here you see a total salary of around 92,000 per month and a CTC of around 11 lakhs. So this is just the basic pay. There are other things that will add to this. Some of the major other allowances are Marcos, diving, seagoing, technical, based on wherever it is applicable, whichever persons qualify for it or whichever person are on such particular duties. So those officers are eligible for this allowances as per the rate. So this will add to the salary which is flashed in the previous slide. Okay, beyond this, next topic is the leave entitlements. So being the service and you are away from the family for most duration, so you can avail 60 days of annual leave, where you will also get leave travel concession for your travel from your duty station to your home station, 20 days of casual leave, so that makes a total of 80 days of paid leave. In addition, due to circumstances, if there is a requirement of more leave, that could be allotted as per your eligibility. Okay, now there would be a question in your mind, how to join the Indian Navy as an officer? So let me answer you. There are following types of entries as I am mentioning here. So primarily we divide them into 4. One is the UPSC entries, second is the Direct Entry Permanent Commission for undergraduates, that is 10+2 level, Direct Entry Permanent Commission for the graduate level entries, and Indian Navy Entrance Test Permanent and Short Service Commission for the graduate level. So all these graduate level entries could be graduate or postgraduate, and depending upon the age criteria which is applied there. Okay, so the first one is describe about the UPSC. So there are primarily 4 types, out of which 2 of them are at 10+2 level, that is the second and third one, National Defence Academy Navy and National Defence Academy Naval Academy. So the second one is for both of them are through a same competitive exam called the NDA exam, which is conducted twice in a year, and the only difference is the second one is for training at National Defence Academy Khadagwal. The third one, National Defence Academy Naval Academy, is for the training at Indian Naval Academy Erimala. The first one is a combined defence service examination, that is post after the graduation level. Candidates can apply for it. They have a all India level CDS examination. Those qualify the exam will all of them after clearing their entrance examinations or the all India examination, they have to attend the SSB. The fourth one here is NCC entry for NCC certificate holders, and especially for the Navy it is for the naval wing. So those who have a C certificate during their graduation time can apply for the NCC quota, and as per the vacancies available they will be selected. The next type is Direct Entry Permanent Commission for undergraduate level, that is the 10+2 BTech entry scheme, wherein the candidates of 10+2 level on the basis of the percentage marks can apply, and they will be shortlisted, and then they will undergo the SSB and complete the formalities to join Indian Naval Academy for the remainder of the training, that is a 4-year course at INA. Then there is a special Direct Entry Permanent Commission for graduate entries for sportsmen who have brought laurels at state and national and international level, musicians who are expert in certain musical instrument which is required for the Navy, and for the lawyers, because the Navy doesn't have a provision of teaching law to the officers, so lawyers who are qualified and willing to join the Navy are undergo through the selection procedure to join it. So after the initial selection, all of them will undergo a SSB, the final selection criteria. The last type of entry is the Indian Naval Entrance Test, or it is the new latest entry scheme. Basically, permanent commission as well as short service commission. There are a lot of types of branches which you can apply, and it is direct allotment. You apply for the specific branches, and if selected, you work. So the branches are pilot, observer, ATC, general service, naval architect, information technology, education, naval armament, logistics, etc. So as I mentioned before, all these entrance or examinations or the selection procedure, after the initial success, everybody lands up at the SSB interview. So SSB interview is a 5-day process wherein an all-round evaluation of the candidates is done. So I will these are the various types of evaluation: psychological evaluation, group test, or the team building attitude, leadership qualities by means of leadership tasks, interpersonal skills through group discussion or group tasks. So these are the various things, and an overall evaluation is done over a period of 5 days, and then the candidates are selected or rejected on the basis of their performance and the skill set. Completion of the medicals SSB interview, all trainees undergo, or all candidates will undergo a medical test, which is conducted to ensure the physical fitness of the trainees. Once all candidates who clear all the above mentioned tests, the entrance exam, then they undergo interview and clear the SSB interview, and then they clear the medical test. A merit list will be generated on the overall, compiled on the basis of all the results accumulated from different SSB centers, and the merit list is generated, and then you receive the call letter for joining Indian Naval Academy in Ejimala, located in the training of all the officers of the Indian Navy is currently taking place. This is the place where you are molded into a service officer through a rigorous training procedure which is there, and for except for the 10+2 entry scheme, which is a 4-year course, the other courses are for 6 months and 1 year duration. So okay, till now I have spoken about the other branches. One of the important branches is the medical branch, which I have not spoken yet. So medical branches consist of doctors or dentists on the military nursing scheme, or which is the nursing officers. So the doctors and the dentists are recruited through 2 entries primarily. One is the AFMC, which is Army Medical Corps, Armed Forces Medical Corps, as well as through the direct entry. So AFMC is for 10+2 level, where the 10+2 students who for the medical branch can apply for this entrance examination, qualify through the entrance examination, and then they get through into the AFMC or Armed Forces Medical College. And the direct entry is for the doctors who have completed their MBBS or they have completed their specialization. Thereafter they can apply and join directly post the interview and other procedures. Military nursing service is a procedure scheme wherein 10+2 students, females, can apply for nursing courses at military nursing colleges. So it is done through Army online. It is an online application has to be filled, and then entrance test is conducted. On the basis of the merit, they are selected, and then they undergo the nursing course at the dedicated military nursing colleges, and from there then they are subsumed. So all the doctors and nurses who are part of this are assumed into the military. The difference from the other branches is that the medical branch is common to all the different forces, so they are not specific to one force, so they could be appointed in any of the military hospital, whether it is Army, Navy, or Air Force. So now we have spoken about the officers entry and officers various mechanisms and various methods. Now I will speak about the sailor entry. There are 3 types of entry: artificer, apprentices entry, senior secondary recruit, or matric recruit. So the second 2 is very clear. Senior secondary recruit is after 10+2, matric recruit is after 10 standard. So the job profile is different according to the recruitment that is correct. All the three have different job profiles and the different cutoff on the basis of the application, and each application forms a separate. You can apply for multiple entries and then decide on which one to select, and if you are selected for more than one. So here I have made a flow chart of the selection procedure. So in first procedure is application, which is could be online or by post. Once the applications, the candidate sends the application to the Navy, they are shortlisted, and the selected candidates exam center is allotted. Indian Navy conducts this exam all around the country at 31 examination centers, and most probably you will be allotted the center on your own domicile state. Thereafter, once you are given the center, the day of exam, you are supposed to be present there for a written test. Post, if you clear the written test, which is based on 10+2 level logical reasoning and numerical ability, the syllabus is available on the Navy's website. The second stage is physical fitness test conducted at the same site. Thereafter, which involves 1.6 kilometer run, some squats and some push-ups. Against all the standards have been specified in the naval website. The second one is post, those who clear both of them go through the medicals at the same day, and then those candidates who are clear from all aspects will make to the merit list, and only the selected one will get a call letter. The call letter will be to come to INS Chilka, which is in Orissa, for final enrollment medicals. All the candidates who cleared the final enrollment medicals will be enrolled. Anybody who fails to clear any part of it will be rejected. So here we have a rank structure for sailors. So here I am also sharing you the rank structure for the Army, other ranks of Army and Air Force, so that those who have an idea of other ranks of Army and Air Force can compare with them. And so the entry level rank is C2, and then they gradually promote to petty officer, chief petty officer, and master petty officer. So this is the rank structure. Now we'll discuss the leave entitlement for sailors. Very similar to officers, just a small variation. They have 60 days annual leave, LTC as per their entitlement, 30 days of casual leave, so that makes it total 90 days, plus additional circumstantially, if there is a requirement, additional leave for. Okay, so till now we have generally spoken about both officers and the sailors, and for a sailor, his entry level pay is somewhere in the bracket of 30 to 35,000 at the starting level, and gradually picks it up. So in addition to what we discussed, the facilities and other things, or the salary on the career prospects, some of the additional facilities that are extended to the personnel in the Navy are life insurance, compulsory life insurance for everybody and their family, self-financed naval housing schemes, Naval Wives Welfare Association for the welfare of the better halves of the service personnel, recreational sports, whether it is swimming pool, golf course, or sporting facilities, club facilities, canteen facilities, all provided inside the campus. World-class medical facilities. Every military base, whether Army, Navy, Air Force, has most of them have world-class medical facilities, and which is free of cost for all the defense personnel and their dependents. Naval Public School or Kendriya Vidyalayas in most of the all of the naval stations, so which will guarantee a quality education for your wards. Pension cover and medical facilities easily available and easily accessible. So to summarize all of this, as a naval personnel, you have unparalleled quality of life, which is very difficult to match with somebody outside, whether it is in the corporate world or in the civil society. World-class education, or the best of it that can be provided. Job security for the period of time that you are there in the service. Comprehensive health coverage, it is for you as well as your family, and without spending a penny, you can cover for all your health or hospital requirements. Club and canteen facilities for your consumption. So for this I almost come to my end of my presentation video. So here I am sharing some of the links The one is the primary one is the joinindiannavy.gov.in. This is the site where you will get all details regarding recruitment and allotment and other procedures. The second one is www.indiannavy.nic.in, which is again called all the details. So the first site will provide you for all the admission related or enrollment related properties or application forms, submission, updates, and the details and the syllabus and all the things. And in addition, there is the Indian Navy mobile app, which is also having all the details. So which will be handy. It is available on Play Store. Okay, a point of caution here. Please note there is no agency organization which the Navy has recruited or authorized to take care of enrollment or selection. Nobody can guarantee you a selection, so please don't fall into such traps. There is nothing, absolutely no agents or involved or any organization that there could be some coachings and other things, but one thing for sure, they cannot guarantee. They can train you, but they cannot book a seat for you. Thank you so much. Hope you have learned a few lessons, or you would have learned something new with this small presentation of around 20 minutes. So if there is any query, you can check on the websites or the apps, or you can contact me through the KCYL unit. If required, I would be very helpful. We try to help you out if anything that can be done, or if there is a doubt regarding any of the issues. Thank you so much.